Hi everyone, my name is David. Thank you for joining me today for this week's question and answer videos. What I'm doing, for those of you who are new, welcome, by the way. Thanks for joining me. I'm answering people's questions from the last Q&A video I made. I do this every single Monday. So if you guys have a question, go down below in any three of my videos. Make sure it's the latest ones that I made this week, and ask me any questions you want. Just give me your location. Tell us where you guys are. I just like to know, and so do most people. It feels good. It's kind of connecting and validating and stuff like this. So please tell us where you're from. Ask your question. Tune in next Monday for the next Q&A videos, and I'll answer them then. Thank you. Anybody who thinks that this is beneficial for you or could be beneficial for someone else, could you please help what I'm doing here? Because you really can. You guys can really, really help what I'm doing if you want to provide help to other people with similar problems that you're having or facing. Please just subscribe to my channel, vote up or down, comment down below, say hi, tell us where you're from. And you can share this video and give it to other people. You can post it on social media, and you can put it in a playlist on your own channel. Really, really would appreciate this. I do this for free. I don't monetize my videos, and I'm doing this because I didn't have help when I needed it a very, very long time ago. I suffered from massive CPTSD and trauma, emotional trauma, and I had nowhere to turn, nowhere to go. There was literally no answers at all. I had no idea what was wrong with me. Professionals couldn't tell me. They didn't really know. There wasn't much information back then about it. And so it was so damaging to me, and I felt so alone that I'm making these videos to try to help people to feel better and not so alone, and possibly push them in the direction that they need to go to get the help that they need. So if you think I'm helping you, please support my videos. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Anybody who wants coaching, you can go to daviddemars.com and contact me there. Thank you very much. And like I said, let's get started. But all I would like is your locations. That's it. Tell us where you're from. Thank you, guys. So I recommend something every week on these quick Q&A videos. Sometimes it'll be a person, like an author who writes a book, maybe supplements, vitamins, maybe things to help your posture, sleep better, stuff like this. Everything associated with post-traumatic stress disorder and different forms of it. This week, I'd like to recommend something. I've had a lot of people come to me with social anxiety, and they don't know what to do about it. So this is something I'm going to recommend for social anxiety. One thing we really need, and all of you watching this video could benefit from more self-awareness and self-acceptance. This is just huge. If we've grown up in our life being neglected or abused, we've had neglectful and even abusive relationships in our adult life, we at some point had to stop awareness, have less awareness, and we a lot of shame and guilt involved in neglect and abuse, and we could have shame our whole life and never really accept who we really are, accepting our feelings, accepting our mistakes, stuff like this. I hear that's very, very common with people who have grown up with neglect and trauma and abuse and had it also in their adult life, and they have this whole lifetime of non-acceptance, not accepting themselves. You know, I'm stupid, I'm ugly, I shouldn't have done that. All these things, right? I'm sure you guys understand what I'm saying. So I'm recommending something for mindfulness. We need to be mindful. That's a very, very important thing for us to start doing if we haven't, and I'm sure we haven't been. So awareness and acceptance of who we are and what we do, okay? So I am recommending something on Amazon always, and no, I don't get any proceeds for you going to Amazon. It's just they have kind of everything you need and the best prices. So this is a mindfulness therapy game, social skills game that teaches mindfulness for kids, teens, and adults, effective for self-care communication. It's a thing of cards, and it just looks really neat. I really looked into it. I've read some reviews. I saw some other people talk about it on YouTube and stuff like this, and it just seems really beneficial. I think 2 weeks ago I recommended my own videos where I talk about awareness and building up self-worth, and I had a 40-question questionnaire for you guys to fill out, and I actually recommended that you guys go do that. These are all things to help with mindfulness, to help with awareness and acceptance. So I'll put the link to this. Here, I'll read. Unlike other therapy tools, our mindful game engages the impulsive minds of kids and adults during group counseling sessions. This game, not simply a deck of affirmation cards, it is a variety of fun activities developed to help you feel grounded, find calm, improve focus, and relax. The fun never stops when learning that mindfulness matters. And so I want to point out some other things for you guys to be aware of when we have social anxiety. We go out in groups and we enter a room full of people and we want to turn right around and walk out, right? Or we might start having what we think might be a panic attack. We see somebody, we're driving, pulling up in our cars, and we see someone out there and we're like, oh my God, I don't know if they really like me, and they were mean to me last time, or they won't accept me. They're going to talk about me and how I look and stuff like this. Try to understand that. Let's just say everybody, let's say that whole social anxiety is a spectrum that we're all on. And everybody to some point cares about what other people think. It's something we don't want to. Most of us don't want to do that, but we just do. Our brains do that. We are such social creatures and such social animals. We do care what people think. We want to be accepted. We don't want to be ostracized, exiled, made fun of, left out. It's awful, awful, awful. So, try to realize that everybody's kind of like that. That everybody's, a little concerned with how they look and stuff like this. And you can study this. If you go into a room full of people, you can look around and see how some people are, every once in a while they might look around and they have real, a firm posture, and because they don't want to look bad, and people that are like maybe smoking cigarettes, and you can even see some people smoking cigarettes that don't really smoke all the time, or people that, just doing things just to fit in. Right? Or doing things because they're nervous, looking around the room, adjusting themselves all the time, and you'll see it, you'll notice it, and they don't want you to see it, so it's subtle. Also, try to realize that people can't see that you're anxious. People don't know you're anxious. They don't know how you feel unless you tell them, okay? That sometimes helps. When you have these negative, impulsive feelings and reactions, challenge them. Realize that your brain isn't necessarily who you are. It's a part of your body, and that's what you are. Okay? Not your true self, not who you really are. Your brain is meant to just keep you alive. That's it. And it's got this little voice in there that tells you to watch out for this and watch out for that. And if you've had bad experiences, your brain's determined you will keep having bad experiences. And that's pretty much what social anxiety is. Bad experiences, isn't it? So I recommend to face your fears. Slowly, but do it. So I recommend to people quite often maybe take their laptop into a coffee shop or a library or things where there's people around, right? It's kind of hard today, huh? But I had someone I recommended this to was nervous about the God, I can't even say the freaking word anymore, or they'll dock me. The big viral outbreak. They're scared about that going, so they go to parks now and be around people. The idea is to face your fears and start having okay experiences, right? If you go to a coffee shop and you hang out for an hour or two and you don't have a panic attack and nobody makes fun of you and tells you to leave, it's a good experience for this thing. And so you were bound to have more. It starts to relax and calm down and not make you so anxious in social situations. Okay? Just some things to be aware of. And like I said, down below is a link to this mindfulness game, I guess you want to call it, if you guys are interested. And I'd love to hear feedback, always. The things I recommend, I love to hear what you guys think, if for those of you who tried it. Okay. Let's get started with the questions. There's not a lot today, which is okay. Kind of means I get to spend more time on your questions. So, first question is from Haya Truth in Iowa. Thank you for leaving your locations. You say, I'm trying to leave a narcissist. What is so weird, I feel I've been with him before. I was in a narcissistic relationship before this one. Is it possible that my prior relationship had come back? He is using a different name online. Ask him to video chat or just hang out, call. He comes up with excuses why he can't. Is he afraid that I will find out that's really him? I feel it's my fault that I even got involved in this way. Thank you for taking the time to read this. You're welcome. Thank you for asking me. Thank you for taking the time. You feel it's your fault that you got even involved in this. So I'd like to know more about that. We can't sit here and have a conversation, but I'd like to know why you believe it's your fault that you got involved in this way, because you're not being totally specific. It sounds like you met him online and you've never even seen his face yet. Be careful. Be careful. Okay? I couldn't tell you if this is your ex. Do they do stuff like this? Of course. Of course. Some of them do stuff like this. I've heard of amazing stalking stories for decades, but be careful. I mean, why are we meeting people online like this before we even know them? What's the situation? Are you staying safe, right? And the whole not seeing their face, I don't like that anyways. I've tried doing that a long time ago, trying to get to know somebody that I just happened to meet, not on a dating site, but we had something in common on social media, and after a while we got to know each other, and they wouldn't show me their face forever, and it just was weird. And by the time I saw them, saw their face, it's like, I don't know you. This is weird. You come up with like what somebody looks like in your mind, and then you see them and you're like, no, that's not you. It's just bizarre. I really don't like it. But I totally love the idea of like falling in love with someone before you touch them, before you have sex and stuff like that, and maybe a couple weeks or so online talking, if you meet on a dating site, I guess. I just don't like it, but I don't really know what to tell you here. It sounds like you're uncomfortable. It sounds like you're anxious. So I would pay attention to those feelings, and I would do something about it. Okay, I would slow this down or cut it off for a while and regroup. Whenever you're not sure about what's going on in a situation you're in with somebody else, try to always pull back and step outside of it. Have some contrast. We kind of get involved with toxic people really quick and fast, and then all of a sudden we're committed and invested before we even had time to breathe. So put the brakes on. Take a break. Don't talk to this person for a while, and sometimes a lot of things will come to you. Okay, but I'm sorry I can't help you more. Like I said, I wouldn't know if it's your ex, honestly. But I do know that we will repeat relationships like this until we heal from it. So you might be in another relationship with a different person, but the relationship tone is kind of always the same, if you understand what I mean, because we're dating toxic people, right? Sorry I couldn't help you more on that. Please keep asking me questions. Tell me more information and ask me again. Thanks. Well, that leads me to tell you, please, guys, always keep asking me questions all the time. It's going to help you heal by learning what happened to you and alleviating guilt and shame. And it's okay if you ask repeat questions. I may not understand your question. You may not understand my answer. So just keep asking. Please, please, please. It's really hard to get people to do that. But thank you. All right. Next one is from Teresa. Don't know where you're from. Please give us your locations, everybody. Everybody tell us where you are at. Thank you. Teresa says, today was a hard day. Saw pics of him and his wife. Feeling so hurt by it all. So hurt. I'm really sorry, Teresa. Sorry that you're hurting and suffering. We have to start being mindful. We have to start being aware of what hurts and what feels good. And that might sound funny, right? I get people on the phone and I ask them how they're feeling. They're, I had a good day. And do you know why? I always say, do you know why? I had a bad day. Do you know why? Let's start knowing why and be very conscious and aware of what makes us feel good and what makes us feel bad. So Teresa, you're looking at, you just left it very general. Saw pics of him and his wife. I guess him is your ex. And if this kind of stuff hurts you and traumatizes you, keeps making you think about it and stuff like this, let's not do it anymore, okay? I know that might sound silly, but maybe it'll help that someone tells you. If it hurts, stop doing that to yourself, okay? And I'm sorry. I'm sorry if it's hard to not look and it's driving you crazy and you want to know what he's doing and stuff like this. It sounds like you're grieving loss, and we need to replace it with something else. I would have somebody help you with this. Have somebody on your team working with you and trying to understand and heal more and more and more. And I would replace this person that was big time in your life. I would replace it with something. Keep yourself preoccupied for a little while, okay, till you heal from this and it feels better. But that burner is red hot. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. I'm sorry that you're suffering, Teresa. It will get better as long as we stop looking, okay? Wishes from Australia. Hello. Hi, David. Sam here. Oh, it's Sam. Hi, Sam. In my situation, which is hard for me to accept his behavior, is because there is no one in the past that saw anything but a nice bloke. I never saw him being mean or rude to anyone. How do you fake it for 20 years? Why would you? I think you're asking that, like, why was he so abusive to you and so nice to everyone else? See, I'm not really sure. In my situation, it's hard for me to accept his behavior, is because there is no one in his past that saw anything but a nice bloke. That's not true. You don't know everyone in his past, and you haven't talked to everyone in his past. Nope. No way. No way someone's nice and courteous and or loving and functional relationships, and just all of a sudden, decades into their life, they just start to be a total abusive person. That just really doesn't happen. Maybe that'll happen in your late 20s or something. I don't know, but yeah, that's not true. It can't happen. So I doubt you know everyone in his past and you've talked to all of them, and they're all telling the truth. Because I've talked to many people who don't even realize they're being abused. I've talked to many people, I've watched them be abused, and I've said, you know you're being abused. And they say, no, I'm not. No, I'm not, David. No, I'm not. And it's like, I'm not going to argue with somebody, but a lot of people don't realize they've been abused. I didn't realize I was being emotionally abused for many, many, many years. I didn't know that was abuse. When you grow up a certain way in your household, you just think your childhood's normal. Everyone thinks their childhood's normal, and if it's repeated in your adult life, you think it's normal still, right? So I guess I'll answer it this way. If I'm wrong, ask me again, okay, Sam? He was abusive to you for 20 years, but no one else before that is what you're thinking, and no one else even saw it. Everyone thinks he's a nice bloke, as you put it. Well, first, these developmental disorders, I call them, narcissistic, borderline, sociopathic, personality disorders, really, they don't surface right away. They don't come right out usually when you meet somebody. Unless they're really, really high on that spectrum, really bad, right? Schizotypal. They wear weird stuff, maybe. So they kind of, right there, when you meet them, they're wearing weird clothes. But the real problems are relationships. People are typically going to doctors and therapists, narcissists, borderlines. They're going to doctors and therapists because they're having super hard problems keeping or starting, maintaining relationships with people. And we need them. All of us. We need relationships with people. Bad. We're very social animals, and it's how we meet our emotional needs. We cannot be by ourselves alone away from society. So when these people that can't have relationships and they don't have anybody in their life, they can't keep everybody and they're losing everybody, they eventually go to a doctor or therapist. Some of them do. And the problem is that it surfaces in relationships, in more interpersonal, or the longer time goes, right? So as you meet somebody, you may not notice something's wrong with them. If they're narcissistic personality disorder, they may not exhibit it right away and be very selfish and self-centered and egocentric, all that. They may be very nice, very sweet, very giving, very helpful, things like this. And as you guys attach, and as time goes on and you get committed and you start investing, this is where the problems arise. Lots of fears, stuff like this, lots of shame. They want you to be more and more and more perfect, which you can't be. So these problems really surface. as time goes on, as relationships become more serious, as they go from friend to boyfriend or friend to girlfriend to wife to husband. Okay, that's when the problems start really, really surfacing. So how can he fake it for 20 years? Because he's faking it to people he's not close with. Narcissists, I don't care if they have friends. They don't know how to be one. So they don't have true, genuine friendships with people. So they have, contacts, associates, really, that they don't really know well. They may not tell them the truth, be vulnerable to, just kind of maybe hang out every once in a while, use for something. That's it. So the problems may not surface that much. You might see a little bit of his, rigid personality that you may not like or something, but the real deep, true problems, the gaslighting, the manipulating, the cheating, the lying, the hitting, that stuff typically doesn't start for a while. I hope that makes sense. And I think, I'm not even sure if that's what you're asking, so if it's not, please ask me again, okay, Sam? Just give me some more details and ask me again. I'll answer it next week. Thank you. And that's the end of this part 1. I'll see you in part 2. Love yourself first. Bye-bye.